And we are live. Well, everybody, I'm not there. Hopefully, I'm doing okay. I need to go ahead and get a test. Hopefully, I'll be negative, but we'll see. You know, I've had a cold. Hopefully, it'll get better. Hopefully, I'll see you on Wednesday, tomorrow, without any COVID. Okay, anyway. So objective is, I doubt it because I am vaccinated. I'm boosted, so most likely it's just a crummy cold. That's my guess. So objective. Today we want to talk about, today is November 16th, 16 November 2021, okay? And it is going to be Martes. I know, you guys love the Spanish. I do. So our objective today. Our objective is really going to be finding exponential equations. So we're finding exponential equations. The equation we're going to use is this one, y equals ab to the x. I'm going to circle that. That's the equation we're going to use throughout this whole entire lesson. So we know that a is our beginning amount. B is going to be our rate, whether you double it or our base. Double it, triple it, half of it. B is our rate. And of course, x is our exponent. That's why we call it exponential, because our exponent is our unknown. Okay, it's called exponential because our x is in the exponent. Okay. Now, exponential functions, well, these are functions. I mean, we've seen the shapes of these before. Let me go ahead and draw a couple of pictures that you already know. We've seen before, and we've seen this graph here. We've got the shape that looks kind of like a J shape. We have our asymptote in here. We've talked about the asymptote. And we have our beginning amount. That's our value A. That's exponential growth. We've also seen this graph, and this graph could look like this. There's our value of A right there. We have our asymptote, right? So if I look at question 1 and question 2, and I ask myself, are these exponential? Well, one of the things I can do is graph it. So if I graph it and it looks like these two, then my guess is it could be exponential. So go ahead and get a graph out here real quick. Cut this out. Graph right there. My XY axis in there. Okay. I'll shift the overhead up so you can see my graph. I've gone all the way up to 81, so I'm going to go probably by 10s on my y-axis. So I'll just go, my 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay, so we're just going to do a graph. Go from all the way up to 80. And I'm going to go by ones on my x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's kind of like right over here. Okay, we'll make it fit. So I've got my scales set up, so I can go all the way up to 81. And my scales on my x's to go to 9. And I'm just going to do my scatter plot. Graph 1, 81. It's about there. 327, let's see, 3, 10, 27, 5 and 9, let's see, 5 and 9 is about there, 7 and 3, and 9 and 1. Well, it sure looks like that one. If I were to draw it in, sure looks exponential to me. And if I look at the graph, it sure looks like it's going up by 3 times by 3 times by 3 times, 1/3, my bad, 1/3, 1/3. Yeah, so it's obviously being divided by 3 or being times by 1/3. So that's definitely, you can see the shape, it's got the same base, the base is 1/3, so it's definitely exponential. I mean, it fits the shape, right? I know it's being multiplied by 1/3 all the way through. Definitely exponential. Well, let's look at number 2. So for number 2, okay, let me put my XY axis on there. Okay, for number 2, just use the back of this graph paper, why not, right? Let me do that. All right. My scales, I can go probably at 1s on my scales here. That'd probably be easy. Go by 1s. Okay, I'm going to graph this one. I'll go by 1s. Just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 3, 2, 1. Just graphing these points. 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 3, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, when I look at that, that does not look exponential. It might be more like what we learned in the last chapter. X might be more like a quadratic. Some x squared I'm betting this is more like a quadratic. Probably some x squared equation. So graph the data and determine what type of function it is. I think it's quadratic. I really do. I would put down quadratic for that one. It looks like a parabola, doesn't it? But it's definitely not exponential. Okay, let's move to example 2. Now, example 2 is going to take some work, but we can do it. I know I'll go slowly with you, but we can do this one. Okay, so example 2 says this. Find the exponential function from these points. All right, exponential function. Well, I need this y equals ab to the x. Okay, or f of x equals ab to the x, but I'm going to use my equation, y equals a to the x. So I want an exponential function. There it is. I'm going to write that down. Y equals a b to the x. I'm going to use that formula. And what I have is two things I have to find. I find a and I got to find b. So luckily I get 2 points, and from the 2 points they're going to help me find value of a and b. Well, to do this, here's how it works. I'm going to use both points. The first point, 1, 6, I'm going to plug in. I'm going to plug in 1, 6 for the x and the y. Another point, 1, 6, every point is an x and a y. So what I'm going to do is put the 6 in for the y. I'm going to put the 1 in for the x. So let me show you how to do this. I'll put the 1 in for the x and the 6 in for the y. I'll rewrite this as 6 equals a b to the 1. Okay? So I put 6 in for the y, and I put the 1 in for the x because the point has got an xy value. Okay, I get a and b. I can't solve for a or b because, I've got both of them. So here's what I'll do. Let's solve for a first. I'll solve for a, and the reason I'm going to do that is I want to use that information and substitute it. Not there yet, but I'll show you. So if I solve for a, divide by b, and I'll have really 6 divided by b is equal to a. Okay, now how's that going to help me? Well, stop there for a second. I'm going to go back to my second point. So my second point, the 2 and the 12, I can use this formula again, but this time I'll put the 12 in for y and the 2 in for the x. All right, so let me rewrite my exponential function. Y equals a b to the x. So I want to use our formula. This is our formula, okay? So use our formula. I'll put 12 in for y, and I'll put the 2 in for x. So I'll put the 12 in for y, put the 2 in for x. Okay, now I am going to do a substitution. Now, we learned how to do substitution before. So instead of writing a over here, I'm going to substitute what a is equal to. So don't write a, but write what a is equal to, 6 over b. So I'm going to rewrite equation 2. So my second equation is 12 equals, not a, don't write a, but write what a is equal to, which is a 6 over b. So I didn't write a, so I put 6 over b times my b squared. Okay, now I've got something I can solve for. Let's see, I've got 12 equals 6b 6b squared over b. All I did is just 6b squared over b. Okay? And then a b will cancel with a b, and I'll have 12 is equal to, let's see, that's 6b, because b cancels with that, 6b. Oh, now it gets easy, right? Solve for b, divide by 6, and I have b is equal to 2. Awesome. I've got b. I don't know a. I need to find a. I need to solve for a also. Well, if I take my 2 and substitute my 2 over there, because I know what b is 2, so don't write b, I'll be able to write 6 over the value of b, what's b, 2, and so a is equal to 3. Okay, now I'm not done because I haven't made the function. So my answer, here's my answer. My answer has got to be, I'm going to use my y equals ab to the x. Okay, so my answer, I know a is 3. I'll put 3 there. I know b is 2. So I'm going to write y is equal to 3 times 2 to the x power. That is the answer. I want the exponential function that goes through those 2 points, and that's my answer. Do not multiply that. That is a 2 to the x, not a 6. That is not a 6. Do not multiply. That's a 2 to the x, not a 6 to the x. Okay, good. That's what I wanted. I wanted the equation, exponential function equation that will go through those 2 points. Okay, let's turn the page. Okay, now, example 2. Well, it's the same stuff. It just has decimals in it, but if I have a calculator, I might be able to do it. Okay, so what did I do? Decimals don't scare me. I started with exponential equation. I start with y equals a b to the x. We're going to do the same thing we did over here, but with decimals. I can do that. So I'm going to make my first equation. Every point has an x and a y. I'll put 3.6 in for y. So instead of writing y, we'll replace it with 3.6. A, b, and instead of writing x, the x variable, I'm going to write the 2. Okay? All right. Now, same thing. I'm going to solve for a. So I'll divide by b squared. Divide by b squared, because that'll get a by itself. So I have 3.6 over b squared equals a. Now, what do I need? I need a second equation. Okay, just like I did over here. I had one equation. I'm going to make a second equation. So, all right, I need a second equation. So I'll go y equals ab to the x. And I'm going to make a substitution. I'm going to put this in for a. All right, so let's rewrite this, okay? All right, y equals not a, but replace it with a 3.6 over b squared times b to the x. Okay, now, I also have my point. Okay, I've still got my point, my second point. I've got an x and a y. So I put the 777.6 in for y. So I'll put that in for y, and I'll put the 5 in for x. Okay, let's see what that's going to happen. So I'll put the 777.6 here equals my 3.6 over b squared times b to the, well, the x value is 5. So let's write an x. Let's write 5. Okay, so what did I do? I made a couple substitution. I put the value of a in for a. So I put this in there. And then I substitute my point. 5 goes in for x. 777.6 goes in for y. Okay, now it's kind of a mess, but I can figure that out. B squared over b5. 2 of these will cancel 2 of these, and I'll put b to the third. See that? b2, b5. I'll have a b cubed, so I'll have a 3.6. b cubed equals 777.6. Decimals don't scare me because I have a calculator, right? So I'm going to solve for b. So I'll divide by 3.6 first. Divide by 3.6. I'm going to use my calculator. Okay. Clear. I'm going to go 777.6 divided by, and I get an answer of 216. Oh, I got a nice number. 216 equals b cubed because that canceled. Now, like anything, when I'm solving, I undo it. The opposite of a b cubed, to undo it, would be to take the cube root, and that will cancel that, and I'll take the cube root of 216. Now, the cube root of 216 is 6, but if you don't know, go to your math button. There's your cube root buttons right there. There's the cube root of 216. You get 6. Awesome. That's what we needed. So b is equal to 6. Okay, now we're not done. I know b, but I don't know a. So I know b. Let's find a. Okay, we've got to find a. B is 6. Let's find a. So I'm going to go 3.6. Now put 6 in for b. Replace. Don't write b. Don't write b. Write 6 squared. So replace b with 6. Let's see what that is. 3.6 divided by 6 squared. I got 0.1. I got 0.1 on my decimal. So okay, a is equal to 0.1. All right, now I've got a, I've got b. I can write my equation. So I'm going to write my f of x, or my y equals ab to the x. But since I'm going to do this, I'm going to write f of x. Okay, I'm going to go f of x equals ab to the x. But I know a is 0.1, and I know b. So I'm going to put those two values in for a and b. F of x is equal to a, which is 0.1, times b, which is 6 to the x power. Okay, there's my equation. Ta-da! Awesome. Almost done. There's one more question. In here, it says find f of 4. Got one more question. So f of 4 means to plug in 4. F of 4 means plug in 4. All right, I can do that. I can do that. F of 4 is equal to 0.1 times 6 to the 4th power. So plug 4 in for x, right? F of 4. I'm going to use my calculator. Of course I am. Clear. I'm going to go 0.1 parentheses 6 to the power of 4. I get 129.6. 129.6. All right. So now, homework. And I have that around here somewhere too. Out of your journal. Here's what your homework is. Your homework is page 166, 1 to 6 all. In your journal, I'm going to write that down. Okay, so page 166, 1 through 6 all. And that's not that many. Get that done and then take the time. You can work on your towers. Okay, that's all I have. Hopefully I'll be okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.